Hello everyone. On this video we will be looking at how to find the definite integrals geometrically. Okay, so we're going to look at the total area and the net area. Okay, so your total area is actually just the area above the x-axis and the area below the x-axis. And your net area is the area above the x-axis minus the area below the x-axis. Alright, so we're just going to take a quick look at an example of each. Alright, so if you're still writing, feel free to press pause, but we're going to go ahead and go to our first example. Alright, so as you can see, I have already drawn it out. But it says, given the function f of x equals 2x plus 4, find the net signed area between f of x and the x-axis over the interval from -7 to 4. So as you can see, I went ahead and drew the graph of f of x equals 2x plus 4. If you want, you can print it up or you can draw it yourself, whichever way is more convenient for you. All right, so since we are looking for the net area, okay, so for the net area, we know we're going to have to subtract the area below the x-axis from the area above the x-axis. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we move this up a little bit and just remember that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 the base times height. All right, so what we do here is we just go ahead and kind of draw a line down there. And we go ahead and do the same thing and draw a line here from -7 on down. Okay, so we have our triangle. And of course, it's a right triangle. Okay, so we have our area above the x-axis, and we have our area below the x-axis. Okay, so now to find our base and our height, we see here that this, for our triangle above the x-axis, that's our base. And this is, of course, our height. Okay, so for our base, we're going from -2 to 4. So we can see here, -2 to 4, which means that our base is going to equal 6, because we're going from -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our height is going from 0 to 12. So that means our h is going to equal 12. Okay, now for our triangle below the x-axis, we're going from -2 to 7. So in this case, our base is going to equal 5, because that's the distance from -2 to 7. And then we're going for our height, which is from 0 to -10. So we're actually having a height of 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out those two areas. Area 1, remember that's above the x-axis, is going to equal 1/2. Go ahead and separate that a little bit. 1/2 the base times height, so that's 1/2 times 6 times 12. which is 36. Okay, now our area below the x-axis is still 1/2 the base times height, but in this case our base is 5 and our height is 10, which gives us 25. Okay, so that gives us a net signed area of our area above the x-axis minus our area below the x-axis, which is 36 minus 25, which is 11 square units. Okay, so we don't know if those are inches, feet, miles, so we just call them units. Okay, so that's how we find our net signed area. Now to find our total signed area, we just add them together. All right, so if you are still writing, feel free to press pause, but we're going to go ahead and move on to our next example. Which, as you can see, I've already written it out. So if you still have to write it out, feel free to press pause and do that. But it says find the total area between the curve of the function negative 2x plus 4 and the x-axis over the interval from 0 to 9. Okay, so if you remember, our total area is just adding those two areas together. So the first thing we have to do is find our A1 and A2. Oh, I forgot to finish off the x-axis on this one. But this should be good enough because we're going from 0 to 9, so I don't have to take it any further. But actually, that should be right up on the x-axis. All right, so that should go down there. And I'll just fill that in. There we go. And then from 9, we're actually going to take this, and that actually should have been further down. And this goes to negative 14. All right, so no, really all you have to do to find this, if you plug in 9, you'll get negative 14. So you know that this goes all the way down to negative 14. Okay, so we find the area above the x-axis at 0 and below the x-axis at 9. Okay, so we see that our height of our A1 is equal to 4 because you're going from 0 to 4. And our base goes from 2 to 0, so our base is equal to 2. Okay, so for our A1, our height is equal to 4 and our base is equal to 2. Now for our A2 below the x-axis, we're looking for that area. So we know that our base, which goes from 2 to 9, so our base is equal to 7. And our height, since that's going to overlap a little bit, is going to go from 0 to negative 14. I'll just put that underneath that our height is equal to 14. So for our area below the x-axis, our base is equal to 7 and our height is equal to 14. So we can use that to figure out our total area. So our total area, just adding those two together, is A1 plus A2. Okay, and of course remember the area of a triangle equals 1/2 the base times height. Go ahead and there we go. So we know that our area above the x-axis is equal to 1/2 2 times 4. Which is equal to 4. And our area below the x-axis is 1/2 7 times 14, which is 49. Okay, so we know that our total area which is A1 plus A2 is equal to 4 plus 49, which is 53 square units. All right, so that's how you would find the area if you're just using the actual graph. All right, so hopefully that made sense, and I will see you on the next video.